Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Dreaming in Fibre. I am Sarah, your host from sarahstexturecrafts.com, and you can find the show notes from today at dreaminginfibre.blogspot.co.uk. You can find me on the interwebs, social media and so on as Sarah's Texture Crafts. And let's get cracking with the show. So what have we got coming up for you today? I want to talk a little bit about what I've been working on this month, about my projects. And then I want to show you customers gallery. I've had so many people who have got in touch and posted photos of things that they've been working on with my yarns, so it would be lovely to catch you up on that and show you what they've been working on. So it's been busy this month, and I apologise, I'm probably looking a bit pasty and white. And I'm definitely bundled up today. The reason is that I'm freezing on the inside today. I had a migraine on Saturday and it's now Monday, and whilst the migraine itself has gone, the rest of my body just can't cope today, so I'm going to be bundled up because I'm cold, and there may be a couple of breaks here and there because I'm just really not feeling quite right yet, but I'm getting there. We're getting there. What am I wearing today? Well, I'm wearing my cowl that I knit. It's my own pattern which you can find on Ravelry, and I'm going to completely stump on the name now. You'll spot it. I can't even remember what I called it now. Anyway, it's my colourway Harlequin, which you can find in the variegated dye section of my website, sarahstexturecrafts.com. Very simple knit. And if you find me as Sarah's Texture Crafts on Ravelry, you can find the pattern. I'm also wearing, which is a finish project this month, some of my own pattern, which is a free pattern over on Ravelry, my simple mitts. And these are knit out of some lovely rainbow yarn I got from Gillian over at moffyandthesquid.etsy.com. And I will tell you more about that a little bit later. So what have you been up to? Hope you've been well. Hope February's been good to you. It's not been too bad on the weather here actually, so we've had quite a few nice walks with Patch, which has been perfect. What else have I been working on? I'm kind of looking at my notes over here. I've been working on lots of yarn. I've got a couple of shows, well I've got 3 shows coming up. So the first event that I'm doing is at the end of March, where I'm doing a demo and a talk over at the Welcome Spinners. And that's going to be fun because that's the first time that I will have visited those ladies as a group, and it will be a slight departure from my normal talks and demos, in that this is much more of a teaching demonstration. So I'll be talking about how to get texture into your yarn, and using techniques that you might be able to create sort of art yarns with using a jumbo flyer. So that's going to be quite interesting, and I hope quite useful to those guys. Then on the 9th of April I will be at the Southwest Embroiderers, their annual general meeting. Details for this are on my events page at sarahstexturecrafts.com. And there is a period of time where I think it's from 2 PM that's actually open to the public, so you'll be able to come and see people like myself there. It's obviously, because it's an embroidery guild group, it will be more embroidery orientated, but if sewing is your bag as well, then you might be able to pick up some bits and pieces, as well as maybe some fluff and yarn from me. And then finally at the end of April I will be at the wonderful Wonderwall Wales, which will be at the Royal Welsh Showground. Again, details for that on the website, and I'm very much looking forward to that, and that's the kind of biggest event that I've got coming up, so quite a lot of work to do. And I think because Craft for Crafters went as well as it did, I've got holes in all different areas of my stock, so I was sort of panicking last week, but I wrote myself a big to-do list and I've been slowly ticking it off as I go, and it's not looking so bad, which is quite good because I got a wholesale order in as well, which I have to dye up this week. So yeah, we'll get there. It's all going to be fine. It's all going to be done. It's just a case of powering through it really at the moment for me. Talking about shop stuff, I thought it might be quite nice to show you some new things that I've got in the shop for this month. So I'm just going to reach over. And got a little pile here, yay! This is just a highlight of what's available. Obviously, if you pop on over to the website, then you'll be able to see all of this for yourself. So I've started to do sock blanks. Now, many of you will have knit with a sock blank, or you'll know what they are. For anyone who doesn't, these are lengths of knitted fabric, so they are pre-knitted up into essentially a rectangle, and what you'll do is you'll pull from one end and it'll easily unravel and you'll be able to knit with it. It's 100 grams, so you can knit anything you like with it. They do have nylon in, so they are sort of essentially my sock bases, so you can knit them to your favourite sock recipe, or you can knit shawls out of them. You're not by any means restricted just to socks because it's got nylon in. So check out those. There are a few left. I think I've got about 3 or 4 left now, but I will be dyeing up some more as soon as I can to replenish. Then I also have got a few more mini skeins. I can't remember whether I mentioned these last month or not, but I have got some new colours. So that's Neon Burst, which is coming up quite true to colour there, slightly out of focus. This is Shepherd's Delight. Again, not far off colour. But check out the website, the photographs are much more accurate. This is Nightfall. And this is Abalone, which is from an abalone shell that I had a picture of. Was a previous club colourway that didn't remain exclusive. I've got, I think there's probably about 34 colours in all, and I've tried my best to keep them in stock. They went fantastically in February, so thank you ever so much if you've bought some, and you'll see at the end in the gallery who bought some and what they're using them for. But yeah, the response has been absolutely amazing, so thank you so much. Really, really pleased with that, and of course I will do my best to try and replenish those as often as I can. These aren't dried to order, so when I do an update, what's in stock is in stock until you sell me out of it. Sometimes an update can sell out in 24 hours, sometimes it takes weeks. So hopefully there'll always be something there for you, but I'm going to have to get a little bit of a wriggle on to get some more of these up on the website. I think, I don't know whether I'll get time to do a huge amount in March. Keep an eye out on my social media. If you follow me on Instagram or on Twitter, I'm Sarah Texture Crafts in both places. Have a look, because I'll post it there if I've done a sort of extra update. As I say, they do tend to go out quickly, and some colours sell out really quickly, but yeah, keep a lookout. I will do my best to update. I'm trying to think, because I've got this wholesale order and I've got so much to do for one door. I'm not sure entirely how much I will have in terms of time left over to dye some more, but I'm working on it. It's on the list. And then finally, but by no means the last thing, I've got some new project bags. So Alex has been working away on project bags for us. So we've got an owl project bag, and these are great for socks or small projects like mitts, that kind of thing. Some sheep, some bees, perfect for spring, no? And then finally, and this is possibly my favourite, cameras. Cool, no? And these will be available, these are $9.50 each, and they're available on the website. So I've got those. That is the shop update for March. So let's roll into what I've been working on, shall we? Okay, so I've been working on a few things. We'll start with finished things first. I possibly have finished a few more things than this since I last talked about projects with you, but I'll show you what I've got. And there would be a finished photograph of me in this sweater, but I'll be honest, I really don't feel like trying it on. I'll get one and it will go up on my Ravelry page, but this is a square neck top. It's like a little tee, basically. And I've used two colours, so up here you can see a stripe effect. So you've got one row is variegated and one row is a semi-solid blue. So that semi-solid blue is coloured denim, and then the variegated 2 rows is colour nightfall. And that runs as a stripe for I think it's just above my bust, and then it runs into nightfall the rest of the way. The pattern for this is of my own creation, and I used the Anne Budd book of sweater that I spoke about before. So I started top down with X amount of stitches, increased for the raglan, did some rib for the top of the sleeve edge. I did Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind off, which was slightly too stretchy probably for the armhole, because you can see there it's quite straight, and when I wear it, it probably sticks out a little bit at the top. In an ideal world I would want it a bit more fitted, but my usual cast off is really quite tight, so the other option was almost cutting into my arm a little bit too much, so I went for this in the end. And I may fiddle with the idea of a different cast off on the next one, but this is perfectly fine for what I'm wanting to use it for, which is to wear it over the top of long sleeve t-shirts. The square neck is garter, and I've just rolled it over. So that's the garter going into the stockinette, and I've rolled it over and sewn it down at the back there. The hem, well, I did a little bit of shaping, as you can see, and then it comes back out for the hem, and the hem is just a block of garter at the end, and a standard bind off. I didn't do anything fancy, like an extra stretchy bind off, because I just didn't need it. I did learn from my last top down sweater that I needed to have less stitches in the back than I did in the front. Because I'm starting from the neck and then working down, I decided that the back neck would have a smaller amount of stitches, and actually this fits like a dream by comparison to my first one, which fits well but not quite well enough at the back. So I will take a picture of that and show you, and that will be on my Ravelry page. But yeah, the colourways and the yarn is mine. It's an old base of mine, but you could use my superwash DK would be fine for that, and I still dye those colours, so I'm really pleased with that. The next thing that I've finished are my, I should show you that way, full rainbow yarn from Moffy and the Squid. This is her merino and nylon base, very similar to my standard sock actually. And that's the full repeat, so it goes from red right through the rainbow to purple at the end, and then the other mitt you'll notice is a slightly darker grey. This is the way she dyed it is that she warped 2 50-gram balls together and then split for dyeing, and so I think there were several jars involved, and I'm not sure whether, I'm assuming it was quite purposeful to go from a light grey down to, this would be the second repeat essentially, down to a dark grey. Had I done something like a shawl, that would be much more evident that it was gradiating from a lighter grey to a darker grey on the in-betweens. But obviously they look quite different as mitts. But I needed some mitts. I was walking with Patch one day, and we keep seeing just lately, because we've had so much sort of misty rain with flashes of sunshine here and there, we've had these beautiful rainbows. So this was totally on my mind, and I wanted to keep it on my mind, so I wanted to use it as something that I would see all the time while I'm wearing them. So mitts they became, and my simple mitts pattern, again, is free on Ravelry, really simple to do. It's no harder than knitting a sock without heels and toes, so it's you know, pretty simple stuff. And they just flew off the needles. It was perfect, so thank you, Gillian. These are from my last Fibre share swap. Gillian was the person who sent to me, so I'm really pleased with those, and they do brighten up my day. So if you want to get some yarn from yourself from Gillian, pop on over to mothyandthesquid@etsy.com. The next thing those are all my finished things that I'm going to show you today, and I'm going to break here and then I'm going to show you what I'm working on. So I'm working on two things currently, with the third thing to be eminently on the needles. The first thing is some thank you socks for Darren. So as you can see, I've got one done, and a close-up of that. It's a Faux Fair Royal number, and it's Drops Fable print, colour 521. And I've got a second sock on the needle, nice dark cuff down. So I've done my heel, and I'm working my way down the foot. Not much longer now, and they should be done. And these are a thank you for Darren for all of his help at Craft Crafters. Sorry, my speech is probably going to start to go a little bit, because, as I say, I suffered from this migraine at the weekend and I'm not quite with it yet. But I wanted to record today because I wanted something to take my mind off it, you know? Okay, and the next thing is my colour craving from Stephen West. So let me see if I've got a picture. Have to bear in mind it's black and white, and I don't want to show you any instructions. I just printed it out black and white because it's easier on my printer, but that gives you an idea of what part of the shawl looks like. And then here's another picture. So you've probably seen that one on Ravelry. It is a paid for pattern, but totally worth it. Totally worth it in my opinion. I've got 3 colours. So I'm using... Do you remember me making these? I made them, I think maybe about 3 years ago. Darren and I went on a wicker weaving course, and we made these baskets, which I lined one of them to use as a project basket. Still holding up, really pleased with them. I've got 3 colours, so it'd be easier if I get them out. I'm using Claret, which is my colour. I'm using Peacock, which is my colour, and I'm using Pumpkin, which is my colour, and these are all on my superwash sock base, which is Blueface Leicester and nylon. I'm going to pull out some yarn there so that I can hold up what I've got so far. Now you're going to have to bear with me because I'm about to start a new row and I'm on the 4th section, so it means that that's what it looks like on the needles. It's a bit bunched up, but if I can try and unravel it a bit, I might be able to show you part of what it looks like. So that's like the top edge. So I'm now working up on this section and out down this side with the peacock blue colourway, and then that goes down to a point at the end, which is that you know, up this way the point would be. But you can see it's got it's quite a nice use of colour, and what I've tried to do as well is use colour that I would find quite challenging, I guess, to wear on their own. So in the middle I've used claret and the peacock, then I've used pumpkin. Peacock is now on this top edge here, and then there is some claret on the edge there, so the orange is going to be kind of embedded in the sort of near the centre of the shawl, and that for me is going to work perfectly because I don't, she says wearing bright colours, but I don't tend to wear orange, and I don't tend to wear bright as a general rule, unless it is sort of embedded in something else. So yellow I wouldn't wear on its own, but this kind of mustardy yellow colour works really nicely, and that's true to colour as you're seeing it there. That works really nicely in how this variegated yarn is knitting up. So that I would wear because the yellow isn't quite so stark and it's not against my face, so it's not making me look like I've died. Although I do pretty much look like that today, I have to admit. So that's why I've tried to put the orange somewhere in the middle. So yes, there will be a big flash of it, but no, it won't necessarily be the thing that's next to my skin on its own. So I'm hoping that that will work out quite nicely, and I have to apologise to Stephen, I haven't stuck to script. When do I ever? To be honest, I made a mistake somewhere along this edge. So I'm knitting, you knit this very first section, I'm knitting from this direction to this direction, so across like that, up and down like that I should say. And what happened is I ended up with not enough rows in length, and that was because I somehow got too many increases with my eyelets. Don't really know what I did, how I did it, but anyway, so it meant that I had too few stitches across here to stick to the stitch count verbatim. So I kind of am winging it now by looking at his photograph, looking at the instructions, and just kind of guessing where I should put things. Is it going to look like an exact replica of his? No, absolutely not. But is it going to be near enough? Yeah, I think so. I don't think anybody is going to really be desperately unhappy that I've not done it verbatim, but yeah, I'm quite liking it. What do you think? And I'm using this as my challenge project on the current knit along that I'm having in the Ravelry group over on Ravelry. It's the Sarah's Texture Crafts group, and what we're trying to do up until the end of March is just to try new things really. So if you want to try something new, then pop in, tell us what it is, and chat along with us and show us your progress as you go. I'm not holding anyone to any kind of strict rules or anything like that, so if you try something, you don't like it and you don't finish it, that's not a problem. I'm not intending to push myself to have this finished for the 31st. If I finish it beforehand, brilliant. If I don't, I don't. No big deal. So I'm not holding anybody to account. It's up to you. It's just purely that I just want us to come together and chat and maybe try a couple of new things. So that's what I'm working on at the moment. I do have a project in mind for the future, and that's going to be another one of my Glastonbury shawls. That was my most recent pattern out on Ravelry, which is a big long shawl with you know, simple colour repeats essentially, and some eyelets. And at Craft for Crafters, in the last video I would have shown you, you would have seen it hanging up on the stall shell. And essentially what happened is a customer came along and said, I'm not leaving until I buy that, how much? So we had a little bit of a think, and yes, I decided to part with it. She was desperate for it, and she's been in absolute love with it since she's had it, as far as I know from what she told me. So went to a good home. So I have to knit a new sample, and because I want to start doing kits as well for that particular shawl, I'm going to need to knit one up quite soon. So I'm thinking, I've got a couple of colourways worked up, and I'm hoping to get at least one of those done for Wonderwall Wales so that I can sell those kits. So that's something for the future. Beyond that, probably maybe some socks, because Darren is wearing all of his socks, and which is great. So I've got yarn for him, I may as well knit some more while he's in the mood to wear them. It's a huge compliment actually, isn't it, when somebody wears your knitting and loves it. He's been raving about it. I've been trying to get him not to rave about it too much, because I don't want other people giving me a long list of wants. Okay, so talking about joining in, I did mention the podcast group, which is Sarah's Texture Crafts over on Ravelry. Feel free to join in our current knit along or craft along, so it can be any craft you like, and it's just about trying something new. So if you're felting for the first time, again, join in, show pictures, tell us how you're going, tell us what you like about it, what you don't like, ask questions. If there's another felter on, you know, I do a bit of felting myself, I might be able to help. There's something else I wanted to mention, and this was just a message to me in my Ravelry inbox, so I thought I would give you the heads up. It's the Daisy Bear Crochet World Record attempt. I'm going to read a bit from the email and then kind of ask you to get involved, really. Okay, so Daisy Bear over on Ravelry is seeking crocheters. They are attempting 2 Guinness World Records in memory of their friend Emma Daisy Welsh, who tragically died following complications from an operation last year when she was just 14 years old. They're trying to break a record for the largest number of people crocheting simultaneously and need people to come along to the Forum in Bath on Saturday the 4th of June 2016. The tickets are free and can be booked on eventbrite.co.uk, and I will put a link in the show notes at dreamingandfibre.blogspot.co.uk for you to find that link. The current world record is 485 people. The forum apparently can hold up to 1,600 people, so they're really hoping that they'll max out that building, or that room rather, to just totally smash the world record. They're also trying to break a record for the largest display of crochet items. Apparently this currently stands at over 13,000 items. So they're making daisies which they'll then display in memory of Emma, and all proceeds will go to the Brain Tumour Research charity that Emma raised funds for. So again, I will link to that event page so that you've got all the information. I'll also put a link up to that in the Ravelry group under the podcast as well for you as well. So that's really important if you do crochet at all. From what I understand, to be able to do the first world record attempt, which is the to break the amount of people crocheting simultaneously, I think you only have to be able to do a basic chain stitch, which is like the cast on, isn't it, for crochet? My crochet is just not good enough, I don't think. If you can't make it to Bath, then you can still get involved by sending them daisies, I think, and I think they're after a specific type of daisy. But again, I'll put the link to that event on the show notes, and you can get in touch with, I believe her name is Sandra, who is organising all of this, and she will give you all the details that you need to know, okay? If you can't find that link, then just message me somehow and I will send that link to you by message. Okay, so that's that one. And then finally, I just want to show you the customer gallery. So before we go into that bit of a slideshow, just want to thank you very much for bearing with me today. I know it's kind of been maybe possibly a bit more of a quiet show, and I've not quite had it together with my words and so on, but I'm here and I'm, you know, loving spending time with you today as always. So until next time, you know where to find me, sarahstexturecrafts.com, and I send you lots of love, and I hope that you keep on dreaming in fibre. Alright, cheers guys.